Tirsa, my favorite girl, how are you?
I'm fine, Mama.
Listen, I talk so much about you. Everybody knows about Tirsa. And it's just a good time for them to meet you because there's so many good things going on in your life. I'm so proud of you for all of the things that you have been able to accomplish. So I've told the audience a little bit about you, but I want you to just tell them something about yourself. Tell them, give us your name, tell us about your family, your children, where you come from, and how you ended up in Panama.
Okay. Well, my name is Tirsa Blandford. I'm from Nicaragua, from the coast of Bluefield. And I came to Panama in 2011. And since then, I've been working hard. I wanted to be like everybody, have a nice job, and have a future with nice work. And everything wasn't that easy because without papers it's hard to get jobs. Then I started studying the Bible. That's when I get to know Natalia Beckford. And then because of I get to know this beautiful lady that I love so much. And I always thank God for it. That's Mama, Charlotte Van Harn.
Oh, thank you, Tirsa. So you have a big son, a little son, and a little girl.
Mm-hmm. I
Tell
have
us.
3 kids.
Uh-huh. Go ahead.
I have 3 kids. The boy, he will be 18. The little girl, she will be 10, and the baby will be 4 years.
Wow. So, and she has a beautiful family, guys. And so I met Tirsa, like she said, through my sister-in-law, Natalia. And Tirsa, when Natalia introduced me to you, I had told her, I said, I am looking for someone who wants to learn, how to do interlocking. And I need somebody that is trustworthy. And she introduced me to you. And I think that was probably, what was that, that was probably about 2017, maybe? When was that? Do you remember?
Yeah,
it was a few years ago.
That was 2014.
2014? No way, Tirsa.
Yeah,
My
baby, she was 2 years. Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe it was that long. So after we got together and we met a couple of times, and then time went on because I was just still setting up. I was still in the States, and I was going to be setting up Lux Forever here. And then, make a long story short, COVID happened. So then that was another year, that we didn't do anything. But I'm gonna tell you, Tirsa, out of all the people that I know that I could have worked with, and taught the business, every now and then you would just reach out to me and you say, hi, remember, I'm still here. And that meant a lot to me. It really did. It just showed me that you really had initiative. Then you had the last baby. That's right. And I was like, Tirsa, I don't know how this is going to work with you having a new baby. You moved further out from the city. And I just didn't know how all of that was going to work. It just seemed like it got more difficult. But even with that, you still continued to reach out to me. And so then when one of the times that you reached out to me, I said, I'm getting ready to be there more often. And remember, we talked about training. Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah, I remember. You told me you need to train very hard so you can learn and learn the work, and you need to be you were very strict, and I love it because that make me who I am now. I follow instructions, and I like when you tell me no, it's not like this, it's like this. Yeah. I remember when I trained.
the main thing, I remember when we first started talking about training, because for those, who don't know, Tirsa is an amazing talent. She can pretty much do anything, especially when it comes to hair. She just really doesn't even realize how gifted she is. Because I don't think you've never been to cosmetology school, have you, Tirsa?
Never ever.
When did you start like doing hair? When did you find out that you like doing hair and makeup and stuff?
Okay, I was a kid when everybody used to have their hair with rolls and plaits, and then we have to pay to get it done. And then I said, okay, I tell my cousin, I'm gonna do yours and then you do mine. And that's when we started.
How old were you? Do you remember?
I was 11.
Wow. So
Yes.
that's cool. You've been doing it for a little while.
Yeah.
And when I showed you the interlocking, it was like you really picked up on it. Remember, I gave you the mannequin to take home,
Mm-hmm.
and then we talked about business. And we talked about business because it was important for you to understand customer service. Remember, we talked a
Mm-hmm.
lot about
I
customer
remember. Yeah.
and customer service. And then remember, I asked you, what is the name of your business?
Yes. I
And remember
remember.
what you said?
It's the one I have more, right?
Huh?
G&G Salon. That's it.
Yes, but you said the first time when I asked you what was the name of your business, you said
Mm-hmm.
you didn't have one and that you
Uh-huh. I
hadn't
remember.
really thought about one. And I said, well, think about it. Just imagine if you had a business, because what you're doing is a business. You
Mm-hmm.
have a business and you have your name. Just imagine if you had your name on your own building, what it would look like. And you came up with the name, and tell us
Mm-hmm.
about the name of your business.
Okay, I came up with this name because I know everybody has like some things that have to do with the hair. So I said, okay, I'm gonna let my business name G&G Salon. That's my two babies initials.
G and G.
Gelson, Gelson
Uh-huh.
and Gelson Salon. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then you came up with your name, and then we talked
Mm-hmm.
about our business card. We talked about being on time.
And
And
being
do you
on
remember what I told you about being on time?
yes. I need to be on time all the time. Yes.
Yes. You need to try to be on time, because
Mm-hmm.
being on time is what will separate you from other people who aren't. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Remember, for you to be able to be successful and for you to stand out among other people, like, beyond the crowd, you have to do
Mm-hmm.
things that other people aren't doing. And what I was saying too was that I wanted to teach you to compete with me. So I want to teach Black women in Panama to compete with foreigners coming into the country to do
Mm-hmm.
hair, because if you're coming from, excuse me, the United States or like some places like Europe, their customer service is on another level. And so when you
Okay.
start dealing with foreigners, they're going to be looking for these customer service things. And that's what I wanted you to know. And so anyway, so fast forward, we start working together, and you know you started to we talked about uniforms and everything, and you started to wear your uniforms. We put together a price list for you. Remember, we worked on your
Mm-hmm.
price list, and Tirsa, you just really stood out for me because
Thank
you're a hard
you.
worker, you're very, very skilled, and I can definitely trust you. And so then after that, remember, I surprised you because there were some issues with your residency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because okay, tell them what was going on with your residency.
Well, I really didn't look in that far. I was even one of the time I thinking was, well, I would just get back home and see what I can do in Nicaragua, because here I was really far from my hands to get my residence, because it was too much money for me to get. It's not easy to get, even like when you don't have papers to work, it's not easy even to get the money to eat or to pay the rent. So I did see, how can I get $2,000 when I can barely get maybe a $20 or $30 for a day, you know? And if I get it, I can't put it up or save it because I need it for me and my kids. Yeah. So that was something very. I'm still thanking you, Mama. I pray a lot. I've been on my knees and I beg God. I said, open a way for me, you know. And you was that angel, Mama.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's, you know, and you were that thing for me too, Tirsa, because, you know, I was coming in and I didn't really know anybody, and you know, to be able to meet you, and you're just so loyal. And but anyway, so we started working together, and then I surprised you because I know that you have a lot of potential. But you're not, but what I also know is that you're not going to be able to fully reach your potential without your papers being straight. You know what I'm saying? You can't. So what I did was I went behind your back and I started a GoFundMe with my personal friends, and I told them all about you. And this video is really for them, for the people that invested in you. So what I did at first was I introduced you to Giovanna Bernal of Prime Tax and Legal Solutions. She is like the lead attorney partner for Black Expats in Panama. And I told Giovanna, I said, Giovanna, I have this sister. She really deserves a chance. I need for her to understand what her legal situation is. Can you please, you know, talk to her about what it would take for her to be legal? And to my surprise, and when Giovanna talked to you, she offered to represent you for free. So only thing we had to do was pay the fees that we had to pay to the courts and stuff like that. So you came up with the amount. It was like $2,400 or something like that. And I raised that amount through my private network and the people that wanted to invest in you. And then I showed you what we were doing, and we got all the money, and then the process started. But the process got hairy, because what is this? When we started the process, was it 2 years ago now?
Yeah.
It was 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago, I think. So tell them some of the issues that we had with the process.
Okay. So what happened now, we had the money, everybody, we were so happy. So when we come to Giovanna, I did take out a passport, and I didn't notice that one of my letters from my title was missing. And then she said, we can't do it with that because your daughter have her title the right, correct way. The one that's gonna do the process through her. We're gonna do the process through your daughter. So then I had to send to Nicaragua to look my passport. I was planning to go. We had to touch some of the same money so we can get the documents. And then it was like a year before I get the passport, but I didn't have to travel to Nicaragua. I get it through, because of a power I signed it, my brother helped me, and I get my papers. Thank God I get the passport and my ID.
Well, it took a while, but remember the problem with your passport was your last name was misspelled.
Or misspelled, yeah.
Your last name was misspelled, and Panama would not accept it as far as, you know, issuing you, I guess, letting you go further in the process. So
Yeah.
all I know is it was a lot. It was a
It was a
lot
lot. Yeah.
back and forth. And then we take like 2 steps forward, and then there'll be a, 2 steps back, 3 steps
Mhm.
forward, 4 steps back. But I'm gonna tell you something, Tirsa, you stayed the course. And I know there was some times where you had to cry, you was disappointed and you was like,
I
oh my
was.
God, I'm so close and so
Yeah.
far away. It was traumatic. It was just it was one thing after the other.
Yes.
And I remember saying to you that I said, Tirsa, this is this is nothing but the devil. And
I
at the end of
remember.
the day, remember I told you, I said, don't
Yes.
up. Do not give up, because what's going to be on the other side of that is going to be such a blessing for your life. Okay, so now we were able to, and what I wanted to share with the people that did the GoFundMe and everything is that you persevered and you went through whatever you had to go through. You did everything that they asked you to do, and you were able to get your residency.
Yes.
And I mean, it took a while, but you got it. And now so many opportunities can open up to you. You can work legally. You're on the process of being able to work
Mhm.
legally. You can do the things that legal residents can do.
And do.
So
Yes.
now, the other thing about you is that, so when we first met, you were living up in the hills. Okay?
Hmm.
So tell us about living up in the hills. And I'm telling you, and the reason that I want to share this, Tirsa, is because Black expats, particularly Black expats that come from the United States, come to some other countries as privileged individuals, because the earning power that we had in the United States translates when you go to places where it costs so much less to live. So we come here and we're in a great place. We get to buy things and live in houses that were nicer than the houses that we had back in the States, because our money goes further. But what I want people to understand is that the people, when you come here, there's people that's struggling. There's
Yeah.
people that's struggling to make it. So you're a person, you do a lot of day jobs, and you do what you have to do to make it. You do your
Yeah.
hair, you do day jobs, you do cleaning services, which you're just amazing at that as well.
Yeah.
But tell them what a day in a life is like when you were really, really struggling and trying to make it.
Okay. Where I was living, it was what I could afford it. I it was very hilly. You had to pass through some like little creeks. You have to go over a little bridge. Sometimes it get dangerous because when it's rain a lot, it's get full of water. So you have to be careful with the kids. The house was not really nice, but that's what I had, at the moment, and I thank God for it. But I
Yes.
was always used to look, sometimes I really didn't even know where I was going to get my dinner from. I used to look up in the skies and I used to say, oh God, one day I want to get out of this place, get something better. And I always think of you, Mama. I said, I know I'm gonna learn that job, and I know I'm gonna like be like you. I always look at you as as how you call it, my role model.
Uh-huh.
Yes. I said I want to
I'm
be like
so
her.
honored.
Thank you, Mama. I said I want to be like her. And I know I'm gonna reach there because I'm working with her, I'm working with
Yes.
you. And then like they have a saying, tell me who you with, and I tell you who you are. So,
Oh,
if I'm working with you, I'm gonna become like you one of these days. So
wow.
I always pray sometimes, and then like to get to work was a challenge. to come back home. Sometimes I would finish very late and I'd come back home. It's dangerous, but I used to do it. Always begging God to guide me, you know. And thank God I moved out of that place. I get
Praise
a better
God.
place. God, yes.
Yes. So you
So,
moved down. So what happened was, Tirsa, you have always proven yourself. And
mhm.
because you've proven yourself, I introduced you to all my clients, and they know you, and you have taken over, all of my work. And
Thank you.
so
Yes.
now they know you go to them, and it's natural hair, you're not doing no chemicals or anything like that. It's just
Mhm.
the natural hair. You're doing the interlocking, you do the crochet braids, and I refer people from Black Expats in Panama, and everybody, Tirsa, speaks so highly of you. They speak
Oh,
so highly of you. So, are you frozen?
thank you. Yes.
Okay. So everybody speaks so highly of you, and that just continues to encourage my heart. So I didn't know. So you were saying you got to go over a little. You used to have to go over a little stream to get to your house.
Yes, it was that bad. And know where I am, everything is good. I'm right in front of the street. I could have get a place big enough so my kids they have they have the enough comfort. They are happy. They can play. They are secure, and also my little shop. That
Yes.
thanks to you, I have it too. I have it
Yes.
right here.
That is
But
awesome. So you, when you first started, um, out on this journey, you didn't even have a name that you wanted to call your business.
I didn't know anything. I didn't
But
have any.
you started, and I'm just saying about encouraging of each other, because then you'd say, you know what? If I paid a little bit more money, because you was paying, like, was it $50 every other week for
Yeah.
the first place that you had,
Mm-hmm.
$50 every other week, and it wasn't. I mean, and like you said, and I like that you said, I thank God for that place,
Mm-hmm.
because it was shelter. It was
Yeah.
shelter. But at the end of the day, you you were put yourself in a position through your hard work and dedication, Tissa, that you could do more. And that has nothing to do with me. Listen, people can teach you stuff, and people can mentor you, and people can guide you, and people can
Mm-hmm.
direct you. But unless you put the work in, I didn't put none of that work in for you. So what you did is is your accomplishment. I'm just so happy to be able to have been a part of it, and coming in and being able to find, somebody like you to be on my team,
Thank
was a
you.
blessing
Yeah.
to me as well. So then you got your place, and not only did you get a bigger place that's down on the main street, where you ain't got to climb hills and go over streams and valleys. Okay, you got a place that was big enough for you to actually put your own shop in it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's great. Yes.
Yes, yes. And so now you can offer people to come to your shop, or you can travel to them. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
before you had to travel to them, you know,
Yeah.
and
I didn't have that option. Mm-hmm.
exactly. You didn't have that option. So I mean, that right there, that's just celebrating you, Tirsa. So then, Tirsa, what happened next was, Tirsa didn't know it, but I knew that the salon that I had set up here while I was, transitioning from the States, I had different furniture that I really wanted to bring with me. And I said, you know what? When I get ready to bring my furniture in from my salon in Panama, I'm going to give Tirsa all my salon furniture. And so I gave you the chair, the mat, the trolley, the workstation, the stylist stool, everything that you need,
Everything, mom.
everything that you needed to set up your business. And guess what? You put it together, you decorated, put up the pictures. It looks so pretty. On the end of this, I'm going to show people how beautiful you set up your salon. And I just am so very, very, very proud of you. So now you've done that, you set up your salon, people can come to you if they want to, you can still go to them. And you're just, now that you have your residency, I mean, the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. There are so many things now that you can do. You can travel back and forth to Nicaragua. You know, you can have your big son visit you here and different things, and it just opens up a world of opportunity. Now, when things were really tight, and I know things are, you still working your plan, and it's not like you living on, you know, easy street or anything like that, but it's so much better than what it was before. So it's like, when you are, like, say when you're living in the hills, when you're living in the hills, how is it like to be able, when you go grocery shopping, do you go to markets? Could you hear me?
No, we buy, yeah, I hear you. No, we don't go to, we go to the little Chinese shop.
So the Chinese shop is, do they sell things less expensive there, or is that why you go there?
No, but it's the nearest. So yeah, so we go there. Then now where I live, I start doing my shopping at the Extras. There is where they sell the things more cheaper, you know, more reasonable. So that's where we do our grocery store.
At Extra?
Shopping. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're doing really good, and I'm super, super proud of you. So tell me, what are your future plans?
Well, okay, my plans is that I want to, like, I know the salon is good where it is, but I wanted to make like a little shop, but on my own. Either put up enough money to lease one or to build one, you know. Well, that's in the future, and I'm looking way ahead, because I would like not to only have one little shop, I want to have several, you know. Because here in Panama,
yes, honey, that's it. That's it. Dream big. Nobody can limit your dreams, Tirsa.
Because here in Panama, is, you know, it's hard to find people to do Black women's hair. You can go to any beauty salon and they will do a perm, the hot ironing, and that's it. They don't know to do locks. They don't know to braid. They don't know to give a Black woman a hairstyle. So it's hard. So I want to put like several little shops for Black women, for our Black women, so they can have that just like any other woman, you know.
Yes.
And my plan is also, I wanted to get a little shop in Boquete, as there they don't have any. But that's my dream, you know, and I know if I work hard I can get it.
Well, you're already working towards that, because you have clients in Boquete.
Yeah, I do.
You have clients in Boquete, you have clients in Panama City, you have clients in Coronado, you have clients in Arejan. I mean, Tirsa, you are doing an excellent job. I mean, I am so proud of you. And then, not only that, it's just like you'll do whatever you need to do to make ends meet. And the
Mm-hmm.
other thing that you do is you do cleaning services.
Yeah, I do cleaning service. I do well, I do natural hair. I do any style anybody wants. They just need to tell me what they want, and sometimes they don't even know what they want. I tell them, this would look good on you. And when I finish, they're happy. They're happy with what I do for them. I do cleaning. Really, I said when you want something, there is no bad work if you're doing it honestly, you know. Yes. So I don't care. I clean. They said, but you do hair, you don't need to clean. I don't. I said, it doesn't matter. I clean. I love cleaning. And I can do like how you said, Mama, thank God God give me that gift. Anything like if that's what there, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. So my another dream is like to, Nicaragua. They don't know anything about like what is these locks or interlocking. So I want to see if I was the first person to get it over to Nicaragua.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Us. So maybe the sisters over there get to like it. They don't know about this about this sister lock. I
Mm-hmm.
know, or the interlocking. They just know about the traditional lock.
Yeah.
And then for them, some girls they think it's too big for girls, so they think it's a boy thing. And if they really look and see what it looked like, the way how you taught me to do it and other people use it, it's beautiful, you know. So maybe
Tirsa,
they,
that's amazing. Yes, that is
yeah.
absolutely amazing. And you're right. And that's exactly the way that you should be thinking. So you've gone from not even thinking of a name for your business to I want to be the first to bring Sisterlocks to Nicaragua or
Mhm.
Interlocks to Nicaragua. And to be very clear, I cannot teach Sisterlocks. I have not
Mhm.
taught Tirsa to
Not
do Sisterlocks. I've taught Tirsa to do interlocking, which
interlock.
enables her to establish interlocks and to do the maintenance on Sisterlocks. You've been doing my hair for over a year, well
Mhm.
over a year, and I'm so very happy with the service that you've given me. But I'm excited because I didn't even know that that was your plan. But that is how you do it. That is
Yeah.
how you do it. Yes, honey.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I'm super proud of
Mhm.
you.
Oh,
Um, and like you said, you do everything, but be more specific. You can do cornrow, you can do braids, you can do interlocks, you can do traditional locks, you can do crochet, weave
mhm.
type things. You can do eyebrows, you can do eyelashes, how
Lashes,
to apply makeup. I mean, all of that. You can do mani, pedi,
ready.
I mean, not using any chemicals or anything like that. But I mean, you can do all of that. And you have worked so hard, Tirsa. And I can remember when you started slipping and coming
Mhm.
a little late. And I said,
I
Tirsa,
remember.
I said,
Mama
Tirsa,
pulled my ear. She said,
we're
"No,
not
no."
doing this. We're not doing this because we're about excellent. Excellent.
Mhm.
And Tirsa, I want you to realize that, like you say to me, that I'm a mentor and I'm a role model for you. Guess what? You're a role model too.
Oh
You
yeah.
are a role model as well. And so think about from where you've come over the last couple of years and think about some of the sisters who are in the position that you were 2 years ago
Oh
and
yeah.
give them some encouragement. Can you give them some encouragement just now?
Sure. I will tell them, don't. Don't feel down, because it can happen. You just need to trust. You need to pray a lot, because God is alive. Jesus is there to help us. He put the right people at the right time, and you will go ahead. And I'm still got way ahead to go, but I know I wouldn't be able to do it without Mama, because she was the one who taught me. And I know if you wait and you look for it, there will be someone there to help. Always. Yes.
And be willing to put the work in. Tirsa,
Mhm.
I know that you appreciate the work that we've done together, and I
I
know
love it,
that.
Mama.
And
Mhm.
but honestly, you put the work in. You put the work in, and nobody can take that from you. Because if you wasn't willing to put the work in, child, we wouldn't have been working together. You know, I'd have put your
Yeah.
tail down a long time ago. Uh-uh.
Mhm.
So I'm really, really, really proud of you. I'm excited for you. And I want you to say something to the individuals who were on Mama's list for the GoFundMe and for the people that contributed the money, because we ended up having to put more money in. By the
Yeah.
time we went back and forth and up and down and all around, however, comma, the point is that you did it. But say something to them about what they helped you do.
Okay. I wanted to tell all of you this night, thank you so, so much from the bottom of my heart, because without none of you, that you all give something to help me to make my dreams come true, my dreams possible. Thank you so much. You are so blessed. God bless you all. I can't stop thanking you all for helping me without even knowing me. Just trusting in what Mama had to say about me. I thank you so much. Um, I love you guys. And I will show you that because of that, who I will become and who I am already are. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. I mean, Tirsa, your posts and everything, I can just tell I love them because I can just tell that you're feeling so good about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you're feeling encouraged. And I think I remember one time, you told me, you said, Mama, I was just praying, praying, looking up to the sky and praying, and that's when I got back in touch with you, and you were like, it was just like God bringing us together.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I just cannot emphasize enough is there's other women in Panama that I would really like to bless, really, honestly, with the same type things, but they have to come with the spirit of I can
Yeah.
do it. They have to come with the spirit of, you know what? I don't care. This lady is crazy and she get on my case, but knowing that I'm telling you the things that I'm telling you and I'm expressing my love for you. I want you to do
Mm-hmm.
well. I want you to succeed. I want your kids to do well. And I just
Mm-hmm.
feel like if we're in a position to help each other to do better and to help us achieve our dreams, then that is what we should do. So
Yes.
I just thank you for being a part of my life. And I
You,
didn't say, I,
Mama.
I don't think I said, but you know, Tirsa cleans my house, and I have been having cleaning services for years. Okay, it's like I gave that up years ago. But baby, when I tell you, I have never had anyone clean my house the way that you do, Tirsa. I've never had
Thank you.
anyone come in and pull out the stove to clean behind the stove. I've never had anyone to come and organize my mess in the cabinets and to clean my refrigerator and organize it there. I mean, it is just you do such an amazing job. You do. You do. You
Thank you,
put your
Mama.
whole self into whatever you do. And I'm just extraordinarily proud of you, and I just wanted to share you with the world. And I thank you so much for coming on the show. And if you have anything you want to say before we end.
Okay, I want to say thanks again to everybody. And it's like a questioner, but I was thinking about it when you said that you would like to help other people like how you helped me. And I was even thinking about it, but I said, I'm going to ask Mama, it's like a permission that whenever she tell me I can help like each other's what you teach me, but then I need to look and see who really wants to do it. Like how you said, it's not like anybody, because if you don't want to, or you don't have the spirit, or you don't doing it with your heart, you will not learn anything. So I know someday I will find a special somebody who wants to learn interlocking, yes, and the work.
Interlocking and other things you have to teach
Other things,
too.
yes.
You have other things
I know.
to teach. You can teach them about, wearing a uniform. You can teach them about being on time. You can teach them about just trying to be excellent with their work. Remember when we talked about the party? We talked about partying and how you got to take that extra time to make sure that part is as straight as you can get it, because that is quality. And Tirsa, there's gonna be somebody, and God will place someone on your heart, and God will place someone in your path, and you will be able to, it's a continual thing. It's like you give back, you pay it forward. So somebody blesses you, and then you bless somebody else, and then that person hopefully will bless somebody else. And that's how we should do as sisters, because we are sisters.
Yes, Mama.
So I love you to pieces, and I will talk to you soon. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
Okay, Mama. Just wanted you to know that I love you. You're like my second mom, really, really from my heart. God knows I love you like my mother. And thank you. Thank God for putting you in my life.
Yes, I thank God for you too, Tirsa. All right, Mamacita, love you.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.